Still no Max. Hello. It is Wednesday, apparently. I don't know. I'm losing track of days here. Welcome into the PHNX Rising podcast. Coming off of a 2-2 draw in Sacramento.
Goals and not a loss. We take that.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm Owain.
Not really.
This is Rees.
Yep. I'm
Max
Rees.
is...
I don't know. We don't know.
We don't know. But Max is not here right now. He's somewhere.
Now, do we think it's another vacation or it's the same vacation from last week?
It's a good question. I think we're looking at some kind of vacation, definitely. It's Mr. Vacation.
Oh,
Of course
absolutely.
it's Mr. Vacation. He's going to be vacationing.
No doubt. Just where? Where in the world is Max Simpson?
I wish
Not
we
here.
knew. I wish we knew.
Yeah.
We really, really don't know where Max is. But let's talk about football, shall we?
Do we have to?
Off we start on a positive note, as always, here on the PHNX Rising podcast.
Yeah.
Phoenix Rising play at a 2-2 draw up in Sacramento. They were 2-0 down first half, not great. Second half, better. Rémi, Cabral and Ihsan Sacko with the goals ultimately to rescue a point from Sacramento. Rees, how are we thinking?
Well, the first half followed the script of so many Rising games that we've seen this season, where they had a slow start, looked anemic in the final third. In fact, so anemic that they only got one shot off in the 44th minute, and it went about a mile over the crossbar. So they really tested Danny Vitiello, just did nothing to create chances in that opening half. The midfield was looking rough, even with controlling all the ball. JP Skiers, Noble Kello in that double pivot just couldn't do anything. I mean, Hope Avievu, for a while, he was only on a handful of touches in that first half. They just couldn't get him involved. They couldn't get the ball to Charlie Dennis. And as a result, they didn't create any chances in that first half. And then defensively, just two terrible goals to concede, which again, how many times have we said that? Just copy and paste clips from other shows this season, and you get this game. The first goal, ball over the top. Axel Asenge needs to do better with that. He kind of waits for it to bounce, and then Russell Cicerone just kind of outmuscles and outpaces him to get it, and then 1v1 with Rakowski scores it, and then Noble Kello just knocks in the cross. It's unfortunate, but I also don't think he helps himself out, and it's not like he just gets a bad bounce. He just knocks the ball into his own net. And it's a very frustrating half because other than that, I thought that Rising did a good enough job limiting the amount of just clear-cut chances that Sacramento had, even with them taking 7 shots, 4 of which were on target. I don't think there's too many of those, besides the one where Rakowski makes an excellent save. It was up for Save of the Week, where it was a header, and he just flies up and puts one hand to it. I don't think there's too many times that Sacramento actually tested Rakowski, and then to concede 2 goals like that, that's just so frustrating.
Yeah, it is. But at the end of the day, we are getting still towards the business end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of need to... I mean, look, Sacramento, none of us were predicting a win up there. And so in that case, you take the draw. We were all predicting, to be honest, a loss. So again, you take the draw. But I think the thing that is frustrating there is seeing the way that they were able to actually perform in the second half of that match, and seeing once again that this team can't seem to put it together for 90 minutes. I mean, obviously there are elements to that where you look at and say, okay, well, this team, you expect them to be better later in the game because Sacramento played in midweek. that's going to play a factor in this. And yes, that's true. That is what you expect from there. But you still have to, I think, bring the game to them earlier as well, away from home.
Exactly, and that's the only way you can realistically have a chance against a team like Sacramento and not deliver a performance like that. And I do think the second half was a really, really good half in a nutshell. But then you look at that first half, and where do you grade the performance? It's probably like a C, just because the first half was that bad, and then the second half, I think I'm going to try to take as many positives as possible, because I do think there were some. They looked good in build-up play. They really just didn't leave Sacramento's final third for a large part of it. And I feel that if this game were at home and you kind of have that same way of how it went, you win that game. On the road, though, in USL, it's always not impossible, but always difficult to walk away with 3 points.
It is. Now, the key thing here, we talk about walking away with 3 points. Let's look a little bit bigger picture, I think, than just the last game. We do need to think about this one. Rising at the moment, unbeaten in their last 5. However, we do also have to add that they have won only 1 game over that spell, and in fact, only won 1 game in their last 8 matches. While they aren't losing games, clearly, at the moment, are we getting to a point whereby it's concerning, I think, that they're not getting over the line in some of these matches themselves and actually coming home with 3 points?
I do think it is concerning, because you look at some of the draws in that run, it's a lot of disheartening performances, and just the way that result got to it is disheartening. Birmingham up 2-0, end up having to have a 90th minute equalizer to even get a point. 2-0, 3-2, and then having that. You have that Tampa Bay draw where it was just an ugly performance. The El Paso game where you were up 3-0 and then draw 3-3. Vegas, one of the worst teams in the league, and you draw 0-0. It's a lot of bad draws against, maybe not bad opposition, bar the Vegas game, but ones where you need to walk away with 3 points just given how the game went. If there were more draws like the Sacramento game, where Sacramento, great team, really in good form at the moment, one of the top teams in the Western Conference, I think second place, probably 4th or 5th overall in the league, that getting a draw from that game, like we've said, is good. But the issue is that's not what the majority of these draws are. They're bad draws.
Yeah, and that's kind of where the problem is, right? We'll look more in as the show goes on about what some of this means contextually when we look at the league table. Obviously, we broke that down last week, but we're going to have to keep looking at this and keep looking at how tight things are, because we are now in the last 2 months of the season. We are down to not too many games left right now, are there?
6 games for Rising.
6 games.
7 for everyone else, mostly.
Phoenix Rising. Rising's played 24. Most other teams do have more games left to play. So being in a tight mix down there, not the most fun. Right, Rees, I'm going to ask you, are there any more takeaways you do have at the moment from this last game?
I mean, I think it is, difficult to have too many takeaways from a game that you have seen about 10 times this season, just against different opponents. Again, I feel like we've said this so many times this season. We could copy and paste the show link from last week, the week before, however, and the same article from last week, and I don't think, and just change the team names, player names, I don't think too many people would be able to notice, because it's the exact same game that we're pretty much watching every single week, and it's with this late in the season, it's a little disheartening. And then my last take on this game,
come on, tell me I'm not gonna have to ask about it. Come on,
the Sacramento kits.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Absolutely horrendous.
Well, here's what I'd like to just hop in a minute, though, because some people did post about these today.
Oh, gosh.
And it's why I'd like to. It was shared by the league and some others. Let's pull this out. The headline on this one, I believe it was a post from Goodall, USA.
Okay.
Sacramento Republic's attack kit is and this is a direct quote now from what they posted, too clean.
Clean. When I think clean, I think like you know the basic Adidas template kits where it's just the badge ironed on.
That's because that's what people say all the time. But I do understand it's something that feels a little bit more, I guess, kind of subtle.
Yeah,
and it can be well done subtle.
Yeah,
but it's not. I mean, these were
those kits are anything but subtle.
They were kind of capital U ugly. I gotta be real.
Absolutely.
The thing about them is they look better in photo shoots than in practice.
They do. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
We saw them on the fit. I mean,
the design and then the collar. I love a collared kit, but you know, a collared kit is almost one of those where it has to be, you know, that clean look where it's, you know, just simple, and then you chuck a collar on that.
So
that's just awful.
The top replies to this. This is on Instagram, by the way. If anyone wants to go and have a look, the top replies are all people who seem to be thinking it's good. However, then as soon as you start scrolling, you get down to yikes.
Yeah.
It's interesting for sure, but it's definitely not clean.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
It looks like a kit a U10 rec side would wear. There's still time to redesign.
Anthony's comment in the chat, I don't disagree to an extent. You know, I appreciate the creativity in their kits. I thought they were cool. Adidas templates are so boring. I agree with the final third of it. Adidas templates are boring, and you know, it was a creative thing, but sometimes creativity turns out very, very ugly. And
it is true.
That's just what happened.
There is a point. I mean, I so they're ugly. They're ugly. I'm sorry. They
are.
The thing that almost makes them worse is the fact that they fake throwbacks as well. And making an ugly fake throwback is just kind of pointless. Like if you lived through the ugly back when that was more of a thing.
Exactly, yeah.
That's what. Now you dislike the goalkeeper's kit. I don't care about it as much because I do know, to be fair, goalkeepers' kits historically, they can be kind of ugly. It's just kind of what they are. Ugly goalkeeper kits don't really.
I just didn't like that it was rising colors either.
That too. Yeah. That too. To be fair, but I don't know. I thought the outfield kit was atrocious. I mean, I don't know. I tell you what, I've seen some bad kits in my time. I wouldn't be seen dead in that kit.
I think on the goalkeeper kit, if they had gone like neon colors, like, you know, throw like a neon yellow or neon pink in there, I think I would have been able to respect it a little more. But just going red and black, I feel like that kind of loses the fun of going, you know, paying tribute to the 90s goalkeeper kits.
It does. Was this the first time we've seen the Desert Rose kit this year as well?
It is.
Have we seen it this year?
I'm pretty certain it is the first time.
Okay. There we go. I don't know. And here's the thing now, again, throwing over to the chat here. I agree. Like, again, like if you have some of the MLS teams did some really tacky stuff back in the day, but when they bring it back, I don't think it's quite as bad.
Yeah.
Because it is actually their history. I think the fake element to it is just like, yeah, it's the only way you get away with the tacky is if you can kind of really own it, and I don't think they can.
No,
that just kind of ruins it for me. Any more thoughts on Sacramento?
Well, you didn't make the trip up there, so you didn't have to leave, or you didn't get the pleasure of leaving Sacramento.
That is true. It's my favorite part of visiting Sacramento is, to be fair, leaving Sacramento. It's a place, I'll say that much. I know Max really enjoyed his vacation up there. Won't be taking another one very soon up there, I'm sure. To be fair, it was actually a work trip for once, that one. You did go.
Wow.
There you go.
Max working.
There we go. At the Sacramento game, I only saw one other Rising fan in the stadium, which was Ryan Flood's man. That's probably because most people don't want to go to Sacramento. Yeah. I'm going to be perfectly frank with you.
That's fair enough.
Right. Well, I did tease about this when we were looking at what the result means and all of that in terms of other, how things are going around the rest of the conference. We will come to that on the other side of the break. But first, if you'd like to be somewhere that's more fun than Sacramento, there are many, many places, to be fair, but one of them is with our friends over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Because unlike Sacramento, no one does it better. we go. That's a real selling point, that one. You visit any of their 4 locations, Wild Horse Pass, Lone Butte, Vancouver, and Santan Mountain. Again, all better than Sacramento, to experience the best that the Valley has to offer. And if you are not like our good friend Max Simpson, who is not with us here today, who has a real habit of losing almost every bet that he goes into, you can go in, pop in, and visit their sports books. They got over 4,500 slots and live table games as well. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You can visit them online over at playatgila.com for more details. And also for more than 15 years, Access Insurance Agency of Arizona, they provided affordable and reliable car insurance to drivers in the Phoenix metro area. They're a new partner with us here at PHNX. They're a dedicated part of the local community. Access Auto, they help Arizona drivers get insured by offering flexible coverage options and accepting various forms of ID, driving histories, and license types. By partnering with over 20 insurance carriers, they make it easy for you to compare rates and find the best policy for your budget. With bilingual Spanish-speaking agents as well at 9 convenient locations across the Valley, Access agents are ready to assist customers in finding the right coverage for their budgets and identifying available discounts. Both cash and card payments are accepted for added convenience. Access Auto are trusted by the community. They're rooted here in Phoenix and ready to help. All statements are subject to terms, exclusions, and conditions of the applicable policy. In all instances, the current policy contract language prevails. Coverage is subject to individual policyholder meeting underwriting qualifications, and state availability of terms, conditions, and exclusions may apply. Right. Let's see. Least fun away trip for me so far. Only done 4 now. It will remain there for a while. With one exception, I don't know if you've got Albuquerque planned, but Rising not going there for a while. But that's hopefully, I shouldn't.
Just wait until RGV announces they're coming back.
Isn't there some kind of exploration going on down there?
I think so. The USL announced.
Isn't it Brownsville?
Yeah, that just got announced officially today. But before today, the only announcement was the Mexican consulate in Brownsville, Texas. That was the only source that posted about this USL Brownsville, Texas expansion.
I really didn't understand, to be fair. And this one, we're getting a bit off topic here, but we're going to roll with it anyway. RGV, back in the day, it was one of the few places where I felt like I actually saw, seeing like football specific kind of shops, because I always used to stay right by the airport because it's like Edinburgh, McCallum, there's nothing to do there. It's not a great away day. So I just stay by the airport, and there was always like this shopping centre across the street from where I would be staying, and I'd go and wander around there because, again, nothing else to really do. I'm really not selling RGV. It was probably the only away day worse than Albuquerque in the league. And they had a football shop in there. You just see so many football shirts around everywhere, and it was just like, why can't these people get anyone to come to their games?
Have you seen? So UTRGV took over HEB Park. I don't know what they renamed it to, but they got a college football team there. Have you seen the highlights of their first game?
I haven't. Have you?
It's packed. There are
I've never seen it
in that stadium, and it's not just the players.
They built this stadium, by the way, a stadium for a USL team that had, you couldn't see the touch lines from anywhere in the stands because they built them with like this weird rise at the front, and then at such an angle that you just couldn't see the touch line.
It's awesome.
I didn't get that at all.
No,
you couldn't see it on the broadcast either, because again, it's awful, terrible built stadium.
I feel like it was built for. I know it wasn't, but I feel like it was built with American football in mind because of how high it was.
Yeah, but then there were suites at the field level. That was which kind of defeats that object.
Exactly.
All you'd see then is.
But you're seeing that a lot now, aren't you?
For the whole game,
suites in the end zone, which I think is I think that might be like the greatest scam in the world, getting rich people to buy suites in the end zone, because that's like one of the worst places is on the field level to watch a football game.
Right, and this is I know we're getting really distracted here. No, I get that, and it's the same as like FIFA now are redoing. Have you seen FIFA for the World Cup, the upcoming World Cup of changed up how they're doing the different allocations for categories for tickets.
Mm-mm.
And they're doing it in line with local preferences, i.e. they're saying, well, people want to sit in the front row. You don't want to sit in the front row behind the goals. Worst tickets you can get. All right. Apparently, people want that, apparently. So those are category 1s now. And the category 4s are just up top, whereas it used to be that category 1, which is the most expensive category ticket, by the way, would be like halfway line kind of stuff on both sides, and would go up quite a bit because at the end of the day, I don't know, I just my personal perspective on this one, football is not meant to be watched from the front row.
Yeah,
that's my view on it. Unless you're standing leaning on some rail in some little tiny ground, not meant to be seen from right at the very front at field level.
Yeah.
Right, let's move back on to actually talking about what we're supposed to be talking about here instead of going off on these random tangents. Things are tight.
Very. And I don't even know how we're going to talk about this. I forgot my ibuprofen, so... Because this will give me a headache. It will give you a headache.
It will give everyone a headache. We love it. It's the Western Conference is a mess. It is glorious, glorious chaos. Phoenix Rising, the only team in the Western Conference right now, by the way, undefeated in their last 5 games. But they are losing ground because other teams actually win some games. Yeah.
Rising are one of 2 teams in the whole league to not lose in their last 5. The other being the best team in the league, Louisville City. And there's a 26-point difference between Louisville and Rising.
Slight golf in class there. Slight golf.
Ever so slight.
Right, let's just run through again. We did this last week. We're not going to go through all the individual predictions like we did last week because that would take far too long to do it again.
Yeah.
But we are going to have a look at what the Western Conference looks like. First place, FC Tulsa. They're on 46 points. That's 15 ahead of Phoenix Rising. They played 24 games, and that's the same as Rising. So 6 remaining for Tulsa. Safe to say Tulsa probably number 1.
Yeah.
Almost certainly number 1, to be honest.
Rising can still catch them mathematically.
Oh, yay. No. There's plenty of things that in theory could happen, but they're not going to. Yeah, one day Liechtenstein could qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah, that's when it expands to 96 teams. And
it expands to 96 teams. I mean, minimum Tulsa are going to finish second here, aren't they? That's reality here. There's one team that could potentially catch them. It's Sacramento. Probably needed to walk away with actually carry on all the 3 points in the end, I think, to leave them in a good position to still think they're in with a good shout.
I agree. And with Sacramento reaching the Jägermeister Cup final, they've got some pretty nasty fixture congestion come the end of the season.
It's a bit of a distraction to it as well, isn't it? Because when you get that far, Jägermeister Cup being whatever you want to call it, when you get to a final, you want to win it.
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what your real long-term goals are. When you get to a final, whether it's a second-rate competition or not, you want to win it. You want to come away with some silverware at the end of the year.
Yeah, and as a result of them making the final, their game against Charleston got moved to the Wednesday before the last game of the season.
Yikes.
That's brutal.
Yikes. But they still remain. Sacramento, by the way, 1 game in hand on Tulsa, 1 game in hand over Rising. They've played 23. 38 points. That is 7 points ahead of Phoenix Rising. They sit in second quite comfortably. Nice little 5-point cushion above the teams below them. I think Sacramento a reasonable chance to finish in that top 2 and kind of where they are right now.
Yeah,
I'd pulled away a little bit from the pack.
Yeah, I'd be willing to kind of lock them in that top 2 just because, as we've mentioned, no one else in this conference wants to win. Everyone else just wants to draw and lose. So, Sacramento, I'm willing to say they'll be at second place.
There we go. Right, now it's where it gets messy. We drop to third place.
Miami FC?
No, we're not talking about Miami FC. The Miami FC.
The Miami FC. How could I?
New Mexico United sitting in third place on 33 points, 23 games played. That's 2 more than Rising points-wise, and 1 game in hand over Rising. Rees,
you have to play them.
You do.
mean,
Points, same games played. San Antonio FC, 33 points, 23 games played. Then you move on to the teams on 32 points. El Paso, who have a game in hand over Rising. Lexington, who don't, but they're both 1 point ahead of Rising, 5th and 6th respectively. 7th and 8th, same points, 31. Phoenix Rising in 7th, currently on the head-to-head. Colorado Springs in 8th, but Colorado Springs have a game in hand. 2 points below the playoff line is Orange County, who have 2 games in hand. And then it's Oakland Roots, who have a game in hand, but they're 6 points back on 25. Vegas, 6 points back on 24. I don't see, although suddenly Vegas with a win and 2 draws. I mean, they're not scoring. They're not conceding. They haven't conceded, actually, in their last 3 games. Las Vegas Lights. But they've only scored 1 goal over that period, so...
Sounds like enthralling football up in Nevada. 1-0
they say entertainment capital of the
yeah, jeez,
1 goal
over 3
Las Vegas.
Games. That's awful.
1 goal scored in 3 games.
That's just
for them or for the opposition.
Watch it be like an own goal too, just like the filthiest own goal.
Who did score in that game? You got me questioning it now.
Yeah.
I'm looking. It was against Lexington. It was a
It
1.
It
was an own goal.
In the 17th minute. Oh my gosh.
It's been a while.
That's too funny.
Thank you for that insight there, Rees. But it is ridiculously tight.
Yeah.
And to go to Pat's comment there on this homestand determines Rising getting in the playoffs, yes or no?
I'd say yes.
Yes.
I'd say yes.
I'd agree.
Because, I mean, you've got 2 Eastern Conference away days after this, and then a game against San Antonio, which is tough. I'm not going to say it's easy, or I'm not going to say it's like playing a Tulsa or Sacramento, but it is going to be tough. Obviously, the homestand, this 3-game homestand is Loudoun this weekend, Oakland the weekend after, New Mexico the weekend after that. I mean, realistically, I don't know how many points you can actually get from this, because Loudoun could be tough. I can see, we'll get into it later, it kind of working out in Rising's favor. I could also see it going the complete opposite. I feel like it's one extreme or the other. Oakland, they're not great, but they're in the playoff hunt. New Mexico rivalry game, they're in the playoff hunt. Mm-hmm. It's not like the last 3-game homestand where you look at it before and kind of say, hey, that's should be 7 points. Anything else, you're a bit weary. I don't know what that point tally you put on this 3-game homestand is.
So here's the thing. Loudoun, if you can lose any game, it's Loudoun.
I agree, yes.
Because you're not allowing opposition to get a... If you lose to New Mexico, they are probably... I mean, they're 2 points ahead of you, so you'll make it 5.
Yeah.
Depending on goal difference in that game depends on if they have the head-to-head over you or not. Of course, Rising did win over in New Mexico earlier this year. It is a fitting end to homestand, could be the make or break game.
Yeah.
Correct. I mean, look at it this way. New Mexico actually ended Rising's season last year.
And
it could feel, especially if we're in a position, right? If Rising doesn't win either of the first 2 games of this homestand, New Mexico coming here and getting a win would probably feel like ending this season.
Yeah.
Even though it probably won't mathematically.
Which would be, well, in 2023, New Mexico prevented Rising from getting a home playoff game, right? Or it might not have been the final nail in the coffin, but it was certainly like one of the last results where New Mexico beat Rising here. Greg Hirsch scored, I think he was miles offside, or there's something weird about that goal. I can't remember now, but I mean, that's just not great if that would happen.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Oakland at the moment 6 points back, but you got to bear in mind they've got a game in hand. They're a mixed bag, but if they win here, you're cutting that deficit to 3. Which is quite substantial, to be fair. That's the nature of these head-to-head games, right? That you've got coming up. There are teams that you look at and think even, they may be kind of a little bit dead in the water. But they're not. They're not if they can get the result against you in a head-to-head match. That's the problem.
And Oakland last weekend just put up a really, really good performance against Charleston. 3-3 draw, but I mean, it was not looking pretty. I would never have expected Oakland to go into Charleston and
walk
score
away with
3
anything.
goals. Yeah.
To be
and
frank.
Peter Wilson brace. I mean, when we watched that guy against Rising, it was one of the worst striker performances we've seen. In all honesty,
Peter Wilson fan again?
He's banging in goals at the moment. I think since that game, he's scored in like all but one. He is just nonstop scoring. Yeah, he scored in all but one and then a brace last time out. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goals in 6 games after the worst game I've ever seen from a striker.
Is Peter Wilson the guy?
Peter Wilson knocks Rising out of the playoffs. It's a little too early.
It'll be too early at that point. It will be.
That would be a funny
script. This is really tight. The thing is that Rising has it in their hands to frankly, they do have it in their hands to have a home playoff game. Really, that's kind of the key thing here. I know El Paso and Lexington are above them as well, but they can knock off New Mexico and San Antonio by beating them. And El Paso and Lexington aren't going to win out.
Yeah.
The nature of the way this league is, they're not going to win out. I don't know. I really don't. Well, in fact, they're actually playing each other, so they can't. So it is in Rising's hands. I don't know. I mean, could it?
See, I don't like saying it's in their own hands because I just fear
it is in their own hands.
I know it is, but I fear that knowing that it's in their own hands, it's kind of been in their own hands the whole season, of course, and they've made a mess of it. I worry that is something that in these final 6 games there could be a bigger mess made.
It could be. I mean,
because there's a chance that those 6 games it can get out of it. It's a slippery slope where you lose that Loudoun game, and maybe you lose that Oakland game. You've all of a sudden that New Mexico is a must win, and you've probably got to pick up at least 3 points from 2 East Coast away trips, probably, given how it is. It could get out of hand very quickly, but it could also, you beat Loudoun, you beat Oakland, all of a sudden you got 6 points and you're climbing up the table. Again, it's so close. It's ridiculous that Rising could either host a playoff game or miss altogether. And realistically, you could see either. You could see this team having a rough end to the season, or you could see this team having a fairly successful end to the season. And to be honest, I won't be able to tell you which it'll be until probably 6 p.m. October 25th, once the Pittsburgh game's ended.
I think the thing here, I'm going to completely agree in the chat with 3rd place is a realistic goal for PROC, and the fact that it's possible.
Yeah.
I think 4th may be the fairer one, right? If you're hosting a playoff game, I'm not overly concerned with you talking 3rd or 4th, I don't think.
I agree.
I think the key thing more is finding a way to actually host. But yeah, what a mess this is at the moment, this league. I don't really know. I've said it before. It feels like everyone's playing chicken with the playoffs.
Absolutely. Line. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, El Paso haven't won in their last 3. Rising obviously haven't either. It's just, there's so many teams that just don't want to win.
They don't want to win.
Orange County haven't won in their last 4, and they're 2 points below the playoff line. Is that not the most ridiculous thing we've ever heard?
They got 2 points in their last 4 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're 2 points below the playoff line. It's awesome.
What a league. What a league. USL Championship. Isn't it great?
Oh, yes. Yes.
But that also, to me, underlines just how critical it is you actually make the playoffs, because in a season like this where it's all up for grabs, I don't think there's a dominant. I mean, you've got FC Tulsa, but they're not that scary. I've got to be frank, as a team. We've seen them a few times this year, and they just haven't come off that scary of a squad. The Western Conference is kind of there for the taking. You can get yourself a home playoff game and really, really look at going on a run here. And to me, failure to do so next year, this league could be better. right?
Yeah.
That's the worry. We can talk about well, Rising will take the step up, but so could so many other teams in the Western Conference, and that's actually the concern. That's why you've got to make sure you get it when the league is somewhat weaker. You've got to take advantage of that fact.
Yeah.
All right. When we come back on the other side of the break, we will be looking at Rising's upcoming game against Loudoun United. But first, Max is off on vacation.
Yes, he is.
As he always is. Max on vacation. He's probably got himself a nice little cap, hasn't he, since he's going off on the...
Oh, 100%.
I can guarantee you that Max is currently wearing a U of A branded Bills cap. Wouldn't you believe that to be the case?
I think I'd be even more specific. I think it'd be a red one.
Red one. We know how much Max Simpson loves the University of Arizona, and he can show off that pride he has for U of A by wearing a branded Bills cap. Now, I wouldn't personally choose one of those. I'd pick one that's better, like an ASU equivalent here, because, they have plenty of good stuff there that doesn't involve repping that school down south. We know Max is such a huge Tucson guy. The first thing he wanted to do when he found out that Branded Bills had a partnership with U of A, as well as, by the way, 40 partnerships with other universities all around the place as well, this local company from Mesa, Arizona, he had to get himself a U of A cap. So head over to brandedbills.com. Max has got your code there, BBPHNX, for 15% off your first order. Don't use it on a U of A cap unless you're Max. He's also probably got some sunglasses on, hasn't he, right now, Max?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Because if there's one thing that we know Max likes to do, it's wear sunglasses indoors, because that's just who Max is. If you're kind of like Max there, I hear there's some good pairs going at Shady Rays.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. If you need to, protect the eyes, it's still really, really bright out there. If you're heading to the beach, whatever,
Oh,
Max
he's on the
Simpson's
beach.
Definitely on the beach. Absolutely. And he's got his Shady Rays on. And, they are good looking, polarized, durable. And, if you lose or break them, even on day one, they're going to send you a brand new pair. No questions asked. They will get you that replacement. So we have teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. If you head over to shadyrays.com right now, use the code PHNX for 35% off of their polarized sunglasses. You too can try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Right. Now, Max may be on vacation,
But he's not in Loudoun?
He's not in Loudoun. He's not in DC this time. When we look now at the team coming in here from just outside of DC, they're in Leesburg, Virginia.
Sounds lovely.
It's not that lovely. It's
That's
a place.
wine country, according to the travel guide I got from there.
You did get a...
Yeah.
Was it from Leesburg? Visit Leesburg?
I think it was just Loudoun County.
Visit Loudoun County?
Yeah.
And how did they describe it?
Wine country.
You should have brought this guide in, mate.
I have them all in my room at home. I got
Now, I don't think people
10.
fully know this, but last year when we sat down in the studio,
Let's see how
and
many.
I asked Rees once, look up if there's anything to do at one of these away days. And so what subsequently happened is that Rees just ordered the travel guides from all the various different tourist boards for each of these. And if they had a free travel guide you could order to your house,
I
Rees
did it, yeah.
absolutely got a copy of these. So Rees has got loads of these random guides.
I've got a spreadsheet somewhere. I can't
He's
find
got a
it.
spreadsheet somewhere of who sent them out. Have you?
Yeah, it was. I did a little ranking of them. I've never. Let's see. I think this. Nope, I was on the wrong one.
See, some of these are actual football statistical analyses.
Yeah.
He's doing hard work here, Rees, and then he's also got his
Where is it?
tourism guide.
There we go.
This
Loudoun. I gave Loudoun. Oh, Loudoun actually had the third best score for
What
their
did you
travel guide.
rate them on?
I rated them on cover photo, cover design, page size, page pictures, page design, page amount, city attraction, city word mark, map, needed to include a map, and then timeliness after I ordered them. And then I had
You gave them a 10
algorithm.
for timeliness.
they were one of the first ones.
From the other side of the country.
Yeah, they had a score of 6.4. Orange County had a score of 6.7, and Tampa Bay had 6.8. So
See,
that's
here's
your
the thing.
3.
Tampa Bay and Orange County I can see being high up there.
Yeah.
Loudoun surprises me.
Sacramento had a 2.5, if you're wondering.
Who was the lowest scorer?
Oakland and Pittsburgh. because they didn't give me the full book. They gave me like a little page, and I think Sacramento did too. It's like one page. Oh, broke my heart into pieces.
Truly disturbing. Right, actually focusing then on what is at hand. Loudoun United coming in. They're currently in third place in the Eastern Conference, which is unusual for Loudoun United. I'm not sure if they're gasping for oxygen at those kind of heights. Because if there's one thing we know about Loudoun United, it's that the L that starts their name is a good descriptor of most of their results. Apparently this year, not so. What is happening in Loudoun?
I think they finally put it all together, which is again weird to say about Loudoun, but I think they have some quality players there. Potential MVP candidate, even though he hasn't played over the last few games. In ALLCITY Abukora.
You get there eventually. Abdulatif Abukora, yeah.
Yeah, and he's one of the better players in this league. How many goals is this will ever load? I had it up and 11, then I refreshed. 11 goals
this year.
Yeah, and then Florian Valo, he's been around this league for a while. He's got 8 assists. They've really
45
clicked.
chances created.
Yeah. Bolo Akinyote, they just signed him, formerly of Miami, San Diego, El Paso, a couple other teams around this league. He's a really good midfielder. It's a very interesting Loudoun team. They just had a really terrible, and I cannot stress how terrible loss to San Antonio, where it was really just an undisciplined game. They had a red card. They gave away a penalty that just was needless, and it was just bad. And I'm willing to kind of write that game off just because of how just mental it got after the red card. And but they are still third in the Eastern Conference with a negative goal difference.
Yeah,
that's
again, in case you need more evidence, this league is drunk. There you have it.
Yeah.
You mentioned Florian Valo. Let's talk about him briefly here. He is second in chances created across USL Championship as a whole. He's joint third for assists, so he is slightly behind Hobaveyehu in assists and slightly above him on chances created. Abukora, fourth highest scorer in the league with 11 goals, only trailing Goodram, Bonfilio, and Cal Jennings. The other end, highest save total in the league. Who's that?
Hugo Farou.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
I do think he's a quality goalkeeper. I don't think he's one of those really good goalkeepers that I think are frauds in this league. Danny Vitiello, Alex Tambakis, even though Tambakis isn't good. I actually think Eric Dick, yeah.
9 clean sheets for Eric Dick this year as well, by the way.
He's finally put it together. No, I still think he's overrated. But Farou, I mean, there's not much to say. He's good on penalties as well. Saved 3 of 6. Yeah.
Anything else to add on Loudoun United? Do we want to talk about their coaching drama?
I forgot about that already, until this morning.
But let's talk about it. Reports obviously relatively recently, coming at the end of August, that Loudoun United are going to let Ryan Martin go at the end of the year. Which is interesting given that he's been there for so long and they're finally actually good and now they're going to get rid of it.
And what was it? The ultimatum was that they have to beat Charleston or something like that? I saw that being
reported, I believe, from a former reporter for The Athletic.
Yeah.
Put that one out there that he was given an ultimatum of beat Charleston. Bearing in mind that was Charleston away. Charleston, one of the best teams in the league by a long way. And he was told to go beat them away from home, is what this report said. And they did not do so.
Charleston, second in the Eastern Conference. Charleston, one of the best attacks in the league. Charleston? Surely.
Charleston, who are genuinely one of the favorites for the title this year.
The top goal-scoring team in the entire league, Charleston? Surely.
That would be the case.
Yeah,
Loudoun won their 2 games immediately after that, by the way. That report before this undisciplined match against San Antonio. So, I don't know. We'll see.
I just think that's such
drama. It's
a
such a
bizarre thing to do with a guy that's not just a full, your proper head coach. It's not like last year with Rising when it was Diego Gomez and the Pa-Modou Kah thing leaked right before the playoff game, but Gomez was the interim at that time. Ryan Martin is a tenured head coach in this league with Loudoun. They haven't had another manager besides him, and it's again finally clicking for Loudoun this year. I just do not understand that decision making, even in the wildest of worlds.
Absolutely. How do you think that plays into this and these games in general?
I mean, I wonder if that San Antonio game is kind of the beginning of the end in a way, because obviously we've only seen it happen in such a one way like that, or only one time rather, where it's just a terrible performance alongside bad fouls, red card, bad foul in the box, giving away a penalty. Look, just completely beat once you go down to 10 men. I wonder if that kind of signals, hey, they're falling off the cliff now, and if Rising is catching them at the perfect time. Because it could work out like that. It could work out that, hey, that was just a fluke, and then Loudoun returns to normal business this weekend, but it very well could be the opposite.
Could well be. Right, are we going to need to make score predictions?
Oh, gosh. This is a tough one. I don't even know where I'm going.
You don't know where you're going?
No.
I'd imagine 38th and Washington is where you're going, mate.
What's your score prediction? I don't know yet. Let me think for a second.
He's deep in thought here.
Yeah.
He's deep in thought. Oh.
I'll go a draw. Just because I feel like that's the most that is the most neutral thing you can go when you don't know who's gonna win. We'll go a little 2-2 draw.
Rees is just looking at Rising's last 5 games, seeing 4 draws, and goes, "I'm gonna go draw."
Yeah, I mean it's fair
2-all draw. Who's gonna score?
We'll go whoever starts up top, starts the 90 up top. They'll get one. And
very descriptive.
Yeah,
very, very.
Give me a
insightful.
Charlie Dennis goal too.
And Charlie Dennis off the bench?
Yes, we'll say he's off the bench in this game.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, can I get a drum roll? By the way, chat, chime in as well. Give me a drum roll.
I don't really know what to hit, so it's just.
I'm gonna go with a draw. 1-all.
1-all.
1-all. Yeah, we're going to do 1-all this time.
Bonnie, great comment there. I give up on
guessing what the final score will be for Phoenix Rising FC. Bonnie.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we agree. I'm going to go 1-all. I'm going to give the goal to Hope Avayevu.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with there. Anyone else got anything in here? Let's have a look. We're going to keep on right. Yeah, okay. I don't know.
1-1. Yeah.
1-1. Yeah. I mean,
I feel like it's again so just too easy to pick a draw in this game. It could go either way.
I'm just so. It's not that this team is. I'll be honest off the bat and say this team isn't bad. It's just that there are clearly still things that we're waiting on.
Waiting on with how many games left in the season?
I know, and that's where I think the concern is. Obviously, you look at this and say, okay, fine, you know. At the end of the day, as long as they get it together at the very, very end of the year, as long as they make it, that's mainly what they're going to judge you on, and that's understandable. And I also understand this is not like it's a 1-year quick project that was intended to just immediately bear fruit. We'll see. 3-0 to the 60th minute and 3-all before the final whistle. Thank you, fat kid. We'll see, I guess.
If it goes Rising's up 3-0 until the 60th minute and then it ends in a 3-3 draw, next week's podcast will be an hour-long crying episode from me.
I think Rees might actually lose it.
I think if I see another blown lead at 38th and Washington, it just...
There's a difference between a blown lead and a 3-0.
Well, they've done it once this year. Why not make it twice?
It once this year, as I almost smacked my mic over. I mean, it could happen. It could happen, to be fair. It could happen. God, I tell you what, this is a team in 7th, Rees. Why are we so bleak?
It's just so grim, though, isn't it? At
To be fair, that's
times?
7th out of 12, so they are in the bottom half of the table. Yeah.
I mean, there's just been, like, again, there's so many blown leads over the season. The Detroit game, obviously.
But then there's also the opposite, whereby they start so slowly that they look
And
like they
then
get battered and then
yeah.
come out in the second half and just absolutely go, you know what, it's time to steamroll them.
There's no match besides really the Colorado Springs, and you can maybe say Orange County home earlier in the year at the end of May or start of June, can't remember, where Rising genuinely played well for 90 minutes, even 75 minutes, I'd even say.
Pretty much. And that's where I think the concern comes in and makes these games a little bit of a drag sometimes to prepare for, but we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. Things could go well. Maybe not. Maybe not. Right, well, I'm sure Rees will have some distracting chat to have when we get back on the other side of the break. But first, when Max told us about one of our newer partners over at Rally House, of course, Reese, first thing we did, what was the first thing we did when Max
We looked it up to see if they had Rising merch.
And what did they do?
They had Rising merch.
They did have Rising merch. That one, not the most common, to be fair.
Exactly.
So definitely check them out. Check them out online. They've got all kinds of gear for all of your favorite local Arizona teams and tens of thousands of products to shop from. Not only do they have obviously all that stuff online, they do have shop locations as well in Tempe, Mesa, and Glendale that you can come out. Check them out where they're carrying all the gear from Arizona sports teams. Every time you visit a Rally House, you're going to find something that is new, unique, and matches your game day vibe. Find your local Rally House location and shop the entire product assortment online at rallyhouse.com today. Now, we've got to talk about some theory. There's a meal deal going on over at Circle K.
I love a good meal deal.
He does love a good meal deal, Reese. And I think this one is right up your street.
Oh, hot dog?
$3. You can get a hot dog, you get a tornado as well. Select Frito-Lay chips and powdered pop-ups, 44 ounces, $3. Reese doing a hot dog? Reese
Maybe.
on a hot dog.
Maybe for how much was it?
$3 for that meal deal.
That might be worth it. It can't be worse than the Rising $3 hot dog. So
It absolutely cannot be worse than those $3 Rising hot dogs. Circle K is America's thirst stop. They've got other deals as well. Of course, you're in the inner circle. You get 79-cent Polar Pop. You get 99-cent Frosters. And of course, you get discounts on gas all the time, which is very helpful with the current climate. You can join the inner circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details. Right. Let's just talk some nonsense for a bit. We got 7 minutes.
I love that.
How are we rounding this one out, Reese? What do we want to talk about? Football-wise, come on. Anything. Football, non-football, I don't care. What we talking?
Well, I pulled this up because David Luiz now plays for a team in Cyprus, Paphos FC, and they drew 0-0 with Olympiacos today in the Champions League.
Oh, so there we are.
There we are. David Luiz turning up in Cyprus. That is bizarre.
What do we think about any other scores from the Champions League? Of course, Karabakh with a win.
I did see that. That was something, yeah.
Benfica. Spurs won?
Do you think they lifted a trophy afterwards?
I'm sure they wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the other results, let's just have a look around. PSG 4-0 over at Atalanta.
Yeah.
Slavia Prague against Bodo Glimt.
Bodo Glimt, I'm excited to see what they do because they have some big teams on their schedule.
4-4 draw yesterday, by the way.
The Juventus
Juve
Dortmund.
against Dortmund, with Juve scoring 87, 90 plus 4, and 90 plus 6. After Dortmund put themselves 67. I'm misreading. There we are. This 90 plus 4 and 90 plus 6 still applies, by the way. After Dortmund actually went 4-2 up at 86.
Yeah, that was
4-2 up at 86.
I didn't get to watch too much of it, but it was something. All 8 goals came in the second half too.
Yeah,
I only got to watch like 30 minutes in the first half. So I watched
So many
this great game
Exactly. Right. There's going to be other games that are coming up, aren't there?
tomorrow too.
Yeah. In what were we thinking as we look at well, it was the Carabao Cup as well, wasn't there?
There was, yeah, I don't.
We can ignore that one because we don't care about Swansea and then nonsense. Few games yesterday there. Grimsby with another win. They beat Sheffield Wednesday away from home. Sheffield Wednesday, who didn't have a single shot on target. Sheffield Wednesday being run into the ground, by the way, right now.
Yeah.
Not good to see. Far bigger club than deserves that.
Yeah.
It's getting absolutely it's just terrible. Just terrible, to be honest. But yeah, there are obviously, as we're looking ahead now, Galatasaray playing tomorrow, Bonnie says, against Frankfurt. What do you think about a game like that there, Rees?
I
I'm
think,
expecting you to be an expert in this, by the way.
well, I mean, if Galatasaray's got a guy like Victor Osimhen, that's even if the gap in leagues is probably quite big. Turkish is quite a good league. I struggle to not back Galatasaray, honestly.
Kairat Almaty traveling away to play Sporting Lisbon.
That's what I think. That's like the second longest possible away day, and like if they played Benfica instead, but still scenes. We are Kairat Almaty ultras on this podcast.
Hey, I've been to this outside their stadium. I have been there. I did visit their team shop. They are a club in Kazakhstan.
You'll see where Real Madrid play in a few weeks, or you saw, I guess.
Yeah. Of course, Celtic, the ones who fell short against them, against Almaty.
That was pretty funny.
Anything else here? You are fine. You'll have to teach us how to say it, Bonnie.
Do we talk about the Tampa Birmingham game today that kicked off at like 9 a.m. here?
Why?
I have no idea.
Why are these games at dumb times? Also, Tampa Bay Rowdies with 4 goals in the second half to win that game 4-1.
5,000 people there, apparently.
Why?
I
Who's showing up at that time in the day?
Not Birmingham Legion.
I mean, it looks empty, but it always looks empty there, to be fair, because they play in this big soulless ground that's not their own.
Yeah.
So it always looks pretty empty there, to be fair. But I don't get it. I don't get it.
No, I don't either. There's that another one coming up in a few weeks where El Paso plays Oakland at 11 a.m. Arizona time too.
There we go.
I understand during the summer where you have the camp games, like Loudoun did that frequently.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone else really did, but in September, in October, and Fat Kid there, when was the last time we had a solid 5,000 show up?
Good question. I don't know.
They're getting 5,000 at
I don't have access to the spreadsheet that I usually kind of track.
Midweek Wednesday, and that is
yeah. See, I don't mind the weird time necessarily. There is the thing. I'd like it to be on a weekend instead of like midday and a midweek.
Is weird.
Especially when it's like, I understood the ones that were like clearly summer camp is Loudoun doing it. Especially it's Loudoun, no one goes anyway. But I don't really understand why you'd do it otherwise.
In September. It's bizarre.
Absolutely. God. Anything else, Rees? Come on. More thoughts from Rees's brain. What do we think? Any topic. Come on. And intrigue the people with this.
I don't really have too many thoughts going on right now. I'm not going to lie.
There's not a lot going on in here. We can give it a quick
Yeah. It's not hollow. That's good.
It's not hollow. That's
World Series darts finals. Come on.
How do we feel about it?
Van Gerwen beat Littler. It was a interesting tournament. I don't really care too much about the World Series, to be honest, even if it is the final, but
it's one of those ones that's just kind of
it's there.
It's there. It's a tournament in the calendar.
Yeah. The Grand Prix coming up soon, isn't it? The double in, double out.
I believe so.
October 6th it starts.
There we go. So we still got some time.
We will be there.
What have we got between the then and now?
Hungary this weekend.
Hungarian
Euro
darts
Tour.
trophies coming up. Euro Tour. We got the Swiss darts trophy. Players Championship 28, 29, and 30 before the World Grand Prix.
I love the Grand Prix. That is
yeah.
the great one.
Yep. Did you see correctly that Phoenix Racing's now playing at 7? They have been the last couple of games. So I believe 7:30, haven't they? Sorry. Yeah, in the last few games they're at 7 according to the website. So
yeah, it is. According to the website, it is 7.
Yeah, we got back to 7 again. Right. Well, you know what? It is 7, so that means it's a good time for us to wrap this one up. I think we've had enough of dragging it out with the darts talk now. I'm Owain. OJM's 18.
At Rees11_
To speak. And we haven't thrown it behind the Mac today, have we? But very briefly.
At Freckled Mamba.
There we go. Right. You can follow the pod. PHNX__rising as long as you don't want to shout at us. It is a beautiful game, but it's way more beautiful when
Max isn't here. Come on.
There we go. Max isn't here. Good night.
We all silly like the mayor.